Hi everyone, thanks for coming back to my channel, Stay Forever True. My name is Brandy. Today we're going to talk about when to cleanse your crystals as well as how to cleanse them. So you definitely want to cleanse your crystals physically as well as energetically. And just keep in mind that there are some crystals that do not do well in water. So as a rule of thumb, anything that ends in "ite" does not do well in water, but there's some that in and out that can do well in water. So I would definitely just look up crystals that cannot go in water. But using water is a pretty simple way of cleansing your crystals. Salt water as well. Fresh spring water is a really good option as well. So that's more the physical way of physically getting any like debris or anything off of it that looks kind of yucky. Is just using water. And even if you don't want to submerge it in water, you can just spray it down with water or just use like a warm or damp cloth. I should say not warm, but a damp cloth to cleanse them off. So yeah, that's one of the ways to clean them. But also you want to cleanse them energetically because items hold energy. Energy is never created or destroyed, is just transferred and essentially transmuted or transformed. So that's the case with objects as well as people and thoughts and things like that. So energy is very important. Energy is in everything that we have here on earth. So you definitely want to cleanse them energetically because people have maybe been using them before you and their energy is in them. They've been touching them and their energy is in it. They've probably been, shipped through the mail, or they maybe have been in a warehouse or in a store or something like that. You just want to cleanse any of that energy off of the crystals, clearing it of anyone else's energy so that you can then put in your intentions into those crystals, your energy into those crystals, and use them for yourself. So that's that. That's why you want to do it. I'm going to talk about how you should do it, but when you should do it. So I would definitely cleanse your crystals as soon as you get them. Now, of course, it's been times I've bought crystals and it's taken me a while to cleanse them, but I just haven't worked with them. But once you get your crystals, make sure you clean them before you start working with them. And if you have had crystals for a while, like me, you could do it like based on the moon cycle. So say for instance, you had a, it's like a full moon and you want to go out and charge your crystals. Now charging your crystals is basically like putting energy in them that's full and fertile during the full moon that you can then use throughout the rest of the moon cycle. So basically cleansing, it's like, let me think. It's like charging up a phone. It's just like putting more energy into it that you can use. So that's one way of explaining it. But you can cleanse them right before you charge them. So you can cleanse your crystals every 2 weeks if you do it with the full moon cycle. You could also cleanse your crystals whenever you feel like, I'm not really feeling the effects of this crystal anymore. Like it doesn't seem as potent as I want it to be. You might want to cleanse, or if you've been using a certain crystal for a long time, like every single day you take it to work or you wear them to work, you might want to just go ahead and cleanse them, especially if you're wearing them to work. I would definitely say cleanse them physically as well as energetically, especially if it's something that you're using every single day, like this ring that I have on. This might be something that I decide to cleanse more on the regular compared to something that I might just keep on my shelf. That is when you should cleanse them and why you should cleanse them. But let's get into how to cleanse them. So one of the first ways that you can cleanse your crystals is to use salt. I like to use pink Himalayan salt. You can use coarse or fine salt, and you can also use sea salt. And I'll just put them in a container and then add my crystals to them. Now, there are some crystals that do not do well in salt. The one that I believe is selenite. I know for sure selenite does not do well in water, but salt is very cleansing. And what I did at this particular time was I let all of my crystals sit in the salt overnight, and I also put them in the moonlight, so it's as if I was cleansing and charging them under the full moon at the same time. So another way that you can cleanse your crystals is by using sage. Now you can use white sage, blue sage, all different type of sage. And there are other herbs and plants that you can use to cleanse as well, such as cedar, mugwort, and other items. Some people do not feel comfortable using sage or feel that they should not use it, but that's completely up to you. Do your own research. I'll do a video about that at some point. But all you want to do is just burn the sage. I do not like to blow it out. I just like fan it off or use a feather, and then run your crystals over the sage smoke. The next item you can use is palo santo. Palo santo is a sacred wood that is used to help to cleanse objects. Some people say that it also helps to bring in angels and spirit guides into your space, and to also just cleanse the area and bring in all those good vibes. And it has a really nice, sweet, pleasant smell. And when you're using palo santo, just let it basically like burn, because it's a piece of wood. So just let it burn, and then you can just let out the flame and use the smoke to cleanse your crystals. Isn't this raw tiger's eye so pretty? I love raw tiger's eye. So next you can use the smoke from an incense. This is a very inexpensive and easy, very accessible way to cleanse your crystals. And if you want, you can use certain incense like frankincense or patchouli. You can also use frankincense and myrrh. Another really cool way to cleanse your crystals is to use sound. So what I like to do is put a few of my crystals into a deep bowl. You do not have to use a bowl. You can just have them around in an area that is going to be able to hear the sound that you're going to be emitting. And then I'm using my Tibetan singing bowl that I got from my bestie. And what happens is the frequency from that sound is cleansing those crystals and clearing any of the energy away from them. So something else you can do is use other crystals to cleanse crystals. Now there are a few crystals that are cleansing in a way. So what I like to do is put them in a regular little baggie. You don't have to use a bag, but for this video I'm going to be using a bag. And then the crystal I'll be using is a red carnelian. Red carnelian has a lot of fiery properties to it, which we know fire helps to basically burn down everything and cleanse and purify things through way of fire. So just put the red carnelian in the bag with your other crystals. You can let it sit overnight for 24 hours and let it cleanse the rest of your crystals. Something else that I think is really cool is to bury your crystals in the earth. Now you can do this in your backyard, you can do it with outdoor plants, or you can do it with some of your house plants, and all you simply have to do is just put them inside the soil of the pot. And I like to do this with a healthy plant, but even if you have a plant that kind of needs a little bit of help, because I do have me a little fiddly fig that she needs some help, honey. So I'm going to put some crystals in there with her and help to see if that will not only cleanse the crystals, but also give the plant some of that good crystal vibe, because you're returning it back to the earth. Now, I have not tried this before, but one way to cleanse your crystals is through visualization. So you can simply hold the crystal, close your eyes, and envision a white light washing over the crystals and removing any energy that is no longer serving you or that is not of you from that crystal. You can also picture fresh spring water, a fresh waterfall, something like that, washing over the crystal and removing any energy from it that you do not want on it. You'd be surprised how powerful it is to visualize things. It really is powerful. So remember I said that you can cleanse your crystals with other crystals. Another very, very popular crystal to use is selenite. So selenite is it's a cleansing crystal, and you actually do not have to cleanse selenite, so I've heard, but it's a cleansing crystal, and all you have to do is, even if you don't have like a huge selenite slate or a selenite bowl to put them in, you can just take smaller pieces of selenite, put them on top of your crystals, or also put them in the center and have your other crystals surrounding them. But you can get yourself a really, really cool selenite slab that's going to cleanse and charge the crystals and put your crystals on top of them. Or you can get a selenite bowl, and if you're like wearing your bracelet or necklace throughout the day, you can just take it off and put it inside your bowl every day so that it cleanses it every day. So another way that you can cleanse your crystals, like I said in the beginning, is you can use water. I feel like it's a lot easier to look up what crystals can go in water versus looking up what crystals can't go in water. So right here, I have a list of crystals that can go in water and be cleansed. As a rule of thumb, I would say any type of quartz crystals can be cleansed in water, such as amethyst, clear quartz, citrine. Those type of crystals do pretty well, as well as smoky quartz. And then everything else on this list, you can use regular water. You can use fresh. It would be so nice if you just go like to a pond or something, or a spring, and just hold the crystals in your hand and don't lose them, or maybe put them in a little box or bag or something. Put them in a little baggie, like a mesh baggie, and just let the water just rush over those crystals. That'd be really, really cool. But you can also just use regular water, moon water, any water that's been charged by the moon, put it in a bowl with some salt and let that be cleansed as well. That's one way to do it. But I hope you all found this video helpful. Let me know if you have any other video requests. I do have a playlist full of videos just about crystals. Thank you so much for watching. And all that you do, stay forever true. Peace.